Welcome, welcome, welcome. Potent Podcast, episode 21, the Deion Sanders episode, September 9th. Jay here with Trills. Trills, what's up, my guy?
Chilling, bro. What's up with you?
We got a guest, Trills. And if you guys can see right here, this way, it's always easier on this way. This guy right next to me right here. This is Grant Cohn of Sports Illustrated. He's the 49ers beat writer for Sports Illustrated. Is my guy, man. How are you, Grant?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me on your show. I'm gonna do the best I can to keep up. I'm a little out of my depth, but I'm passionate, and I hope we can have a good convo.
Grant, you got this, man. And I thank you for cutting time out with us right now because right now everything is all ramped up for football. You're in Cali right now, and there's some crazy shit going on right now with the wildfires. Like, I see the pictures, and it looks like you guys are living on Mars. The 49ers practiced today.
On Mars.
Yeah, on Mars.
On Mars.
Like it's going to take, like they said that, what is it, the API, right? Is that what it's called, the index?
Yeah.
The API has to be over 200. Today they practice in 70, and the whole state looks orange. Mm-hmm. Crazy.
Yeah, the API isn't so bad, but it's orange. I woke up and it was it's not just orange, it's like dark. It's a lot of smoke and it's blocking the sun. So 9 o'clock, it felt like 8:30 p.m. Like this, like really dark. And right. I'm in my bedroom right now with like 3 different lamps on just to get enough light. Usually there's plenty that just comes through my window. So it's the weirdest day ever.
Right. And then it's funny because I saw you post. I think you were the one who said that you're in Total Recall, and someone posted the picture of the 3-breasted woman, and they were like, "Look out for."
Hell yeah!
Oh my god, I love Twitter, man. That's exactly what.
Me too.
Doing. So for you guys that don't know, right? Trills and I are from Jersey, but a lot of the people that follow us are from our side. So with Grant, bringing him on, right? Like, I built a relationship with Grant. We've been on the same podcast. We write for the same team. Like, we've had great conversations. But if you guys don't know, Grant is the king of 49ers unpopular opinions. And to give you a little bit of backstory as to why I chose him for this episode, the first time that I ever saw Grant get into some timeline controversy was because of his Mac, Dre, and E40 take. Now, remember this. Grant's from California. So I guess we could start a little bit there. Like, tell me a little bit about that, because what Trills and I know about everything that goes on outside of our places, just because we do our due diligence and we're not localized there, right? Like, that music hits different for people from California. So shed a little bit light on that, because that's a big popular conversation when it comes to California.
Well, E40 is like the most consistent rapper of all time. I mean, since he's been famous with Captain Save-A-Ho, he's never fallen off, ever. I mean, he had a song that came out a couple months ago, $19 Lap Dance, that absolutely slaps, featuring Sugar Free. It's a dope song. So E40's tight. I mean, I love E40. But he was never, like, no one wants to dress like E40. Like, Mac Dre was a legend in a way that very few rappers are. I mean, when I was in high school, everyone wanted to be Mac Dre. White kids, black, everyone wanted to be him. Mm-hmm. And he was a trendsetter. Like, he set the trends that E40 followed. And he was like the kind of underground living legend that I don't know if East Coasters kind of understand, but on the West Coast, like, he's the biggest. He was big in the 80s. He had hits in the 80s. He went to jail in 1992, right when West Coast gangster rap was taking off. And he was in jail through 97, right when E40 and the Loonies and all these guys were taking off. And then he comes back and takes over the game in his early 30s. To the point where in 2004, I think that Feeling Myself was probably the biggest song in the country. And how many times has a Bay Area rapper ever had the biggest song in the country? Never.
True. Right.
So, I mean, he's a legend. And then he died. So that just adds to the legacy.
Right. Wow. So, Trills, let me ask you. So that's the sort of insight that we don't have, right? Like, the way that he's felt over there, right? So, Trills, who would be somebody that Grant just described on our side? The first name that pops in my mind when I hear he had hits in the 80s and he still had a big song now, for me, it screams Fat Joe over here for us, right? Somebody who, like, I don't know if he's as legendary or the way that he is. Like, I feel like Fat Joe doesn't get his just due for those same reasons. Hits in the 90s, hits in the 2000s, hits in the 2010s, hits in the 2020s. Yeah. Every decade, Fat Joe has a song in the tuck that he always has that keeps him hot, at least on our side of the country. Right. That would be the now biggest song in the country. I don't know, Trills. Do you agree? Do you have somebody else?
Do I think? Well, I mean, you're still on point there. I mean, Fat Joe has had the biggest song in the country once, right?
Right.
Maybe a couple times. But I don't. Mac Dre really is something special. We don't have that. Anyone that's even like worth being in the conversation and molding East Coast hip hop and the culture of it had pretty much gotten their just due, I believe, right? Mm-hmm. No one has been as underground and as influential as Mac Dre on our coast.
His own record label, Dizzy and T. I mean, so did E40. But on the East Coast, I'm thinking like Black Rob was in prison for a while. He was on Bad Boy. Everyone knows Black Rob.
Right.
There's not that level of underground slip through the cracks in New York or New Jersey the way there is in
Vail. That's true.
Right. You're right with that. Like that kind of hit my mind really quick. Like Rob and G-Dep hit my mind really quick.
Yeah, I love G-Dep.
But they didn't move our culture the way Mac Dre did. Right. But I guess that's probably as close to it as you'll get.
I mean, there's still kids in the Bay Area trying to be like Mac Dre 16 years after he's dead. It's amazing. And what's funny is most people, a lot of white kids, never heard of him until he died.
Yeah.
He was getting big because he was in prison for a long time. But as soon as he died, everyone was like, oh, my God.
Right.
I'm Mr. Thizzy and T.
Yo, I knew Grant was going to come with it, man. I knew it.
I mean, the amount of kids that experimented with ecstasy when I was in high school and college, just because Mac Dre did.
Right.
Like, you don't even know what's in that crap, dude. But
right.
It was like, hey, you got to at least try it. You got to do the fizz face once.
That's what that is. Wow. See, I'm learning. I'm getting my. That's what that is. So like I've heard E40 say that on Tell Me When to Go. You know.
Oh yeah, it's ecstasy. It's ecstasy.
Okay.
Yes.
There we go.
I'm trying to think. I mean, Redman would kind of qualify. I mean, Redman has hit since 1992, 91. I mean, he hasn't really
91, 92, yeah.
I mean, that's back there. And I don't know what his last great song was, probably in the 2000s, but I mean, right around when Mac Dre died. So that's a pretty long run.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a pretty long run. And he's one of the GOATs, in my opinion. I love Redman. I love
it. Newark, New Jersey.
Yeah.
I mean, look, man, we could go through our bag, right? Talking about New Jersey not getting its just due.
We always say that.
Right. But
right.
Think, people
who are the greatest New Jersey rappers of all time?
Tretch, Redman, Rod Digger, Joe Budden. Like I never would take Joe Budden out of that discussion at all.
Right.
Joe, no.
Right.
There's a
Beanie
lot.
Siegel's Philly, right?
Beanie Siegel's Philly. Yeah.
I love Beanie.
Yeah. But I mean, Queen Latifah, Lauryn Hill.
Yep, Lauryn Hill for sure. Redman's in there, like I said, and then we have a lot of battle rappers here that are amazing rappers that are never gonna get their just due, like Sue Surf and like Arsenal and those guys. Like those guys can really, really rap. But unfortunately, they fall into the category that I feel like a lot of battle rappers fall into, which is that they don't make great music. Not great music, but music that hooks you. Right?
That's the thing. Like, I'm not into battle rap. I'm into music. So, like, for example, one unpopular opinion, just to jump ahead of things.
This is small, Trills.
Okay.
Like,
wow. So this is what I would say. I prefer Ja Rule to DMX because to me they're very similar. Their voice, the time that they were big, but DMX was a battle rapper. He was just spit. And then when it was time for a chorus, it was like, we'll figure something out. Ja Rule could write a song. I mean, he was corny as hell. But he could write a song. He had vocal range. I mean, he was just a more talented songwriter than DMX. And DMX was a more talented spitter than Ja Rule. And I would be more on the, just being able to spit isn't going to do it for me. I don't like watching battles. I want to actually enjoy the music I'm listening to, and I love rap, but it has to be in a musical context. Right. So I'm not really throwing on Ja Rule very much, but I got to say I never listened to DMX except for one song, Crime Story. I love Crime Story. But that's like one of his quietest songs. You know what I mean?
That's so random, Grant. Honestly, that of all the songs, that's the song. Trills,
I love that song, dude. That is like the most restrained
awesome.
and witty that rapper ever was. He was great on that song.
And that song is stripped back. You know, it's just a sample, and it's him very, you know, and remember that all his songs at that point in Is Darkest Hell Is Hot were all up tempo, right? So that song is kind of laid back, and it does give the storytelling vibe. Trills, I want to give you a shot to respond to that. Enjoying Ja Rule's music because it's more well-rounded than DMX because we love the feeling. Right?
I don't really enjoy Ja Rule's music that much.
But I understand what you're saying. That's
the distinction I would make because they're so similar.
Right. In a vacuum, you'd say that you'd rather listen to Ja Rule's music because it is more well-rounded and there's more to it than that. Over here,
Thug Love with Bobby Brown is a great song. Great song.
Yes, it is.
Great song.
I've been saying it for a long time.
I never thought we'd be at this discussion right now. But Trills, I want to give you a sec, Trills, to go ahead and respond to that as well too, because I think that Grant, with me and Trills, right, we have a big affinity for DMX because of the feeling that he brought to us in '98, right?
I feel you.
I was 13 when the first album came out, and that album like took over my life. So, but I understand exactly what you mean. Trills, I want to give you a second to think. Because remember, we went through this with the Snoop and DMX battle. Like, I just was, like, tallying them off. Snoop, 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 Snoop. You know, it was too hard. But this is a little bit closer, and I like this discussion. So go ahead, Trills. Tell me what you got.
I think there is a very legitimate point there. Look, I think X had a run, right, with 2 really good albums, and I think Ja had a run with 2 really good albums. I prefer the 2 DMX albums over the 2 Ja Rule albums. But in different spaces, right, I think if I'm playing music for people or for any kind of event or I'm entertaining, Ja gets to go over DMX's catalog. Specifically for that point, it's more danceable.
Yeah.
The hooks are better.
Yeah.
Women will enjoy it more. Exactly. And that goes without saying how good Ja's songwriting was during that time.
See, to me, my favorite old school rap group is Houdini.
Wow.
I mean, Houdini, I love Houdini. Houdini was for the guys. Houdini was for the girls. Houdini was party music.
Right.
I love rap. The way I fell in love with rap was in 6th grade at my middle school dance. I had no idea it was going to go down like that. And the DJ threw on Back That Ass Up by Juvenile, and I had no idea the girls were going to do what they did. And ever since that moment, I'm like, this is for me.
This is for
I like. This is the kind of parties I want to go to. And so any type of artist that can get people to dance like that, I'm into. And I've never really felt like DMX is that kind of guy. Like, he's the kind of guy that your homies will like and be like, man, he ripped that apart and he's so vicious. But I'll give you an example. I went to a wedding in Richmond, California. Richmond, California is kind of like East Oakland. It's right in between Oakland and Vallejo. And it was a couple black people who got married. It was great. It was a wonderful wedding. When they said I do, DJ put on the song by Ja Rule. I forget how it goes. Everybody who be living it up, say what? And they walked out of down the aisle, like strutting to that song. And I was like, man, I always hated that song, but it works in this context. Like Ja Rule is actually kind of brilliant. Hey, so I don't think DMX, you could ever play Party Up after 2 people said I do. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't do that.
Right. Yo, you know what, man? This is starting off swimmingly. We're going to have a great episode, guys. We're going to have a great episode. All right, let me get into my shit real quick. So you know what the deal is. Let's get to it.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Okay, so look, Trills, Grant and I are in the football world, right? Mm-hmm. We wake up yesterday. Odell Beckham's trending. We wonder why Odell Beckham's trending. Did it have something happen in practice? Did he say something in an interview? Does he have a new girlfriend? No, Trills. No. We find out that 21 Jumper, or whatever his name is, no Jumper, Adam 22, why did I call him 21? Adam 22 has some podcast that he allows Selena Powell is the only girl I know, and the other girl, they call it The Thoughts Next Door. That's the name of the podcast.
Yeah.
They bring on Chief Keef's baby mama, who, goodness gracious, Trills, please, if I'm tripping and I'm out of line, check me. She is such an unattractive woman. Oh my God, man. Like, it's not even close. Not even close. Like, this isn't Bella Thorne. Like, when we were like, maybe. No, this is a straight up no. This is straight up no.
Yeah, this is a straight up no.
Straight up no.
Yeah, we're not talking like, is she an 8 or a 9? This is the binary system, ones and zeros. This is a 0. The binary system.
But the worst part is when you see all three of them in action, you were like, these are the most 3 offensive women to my eyes and ears that I probably could have ever put together at this point. So
it makes you itch. Like just looking made me itch.
Bro, that podcast smells like crabs. Listen. What she said happened, right, is that Odell Beckham is, hitting her up saying, I want to fly you out. She says that he instructs her to not shower for 24 hours, not wear any underwear, and send a video to him while she's taking a number 2. Trills. First of all, I'm going to say this. I'm going to start with you, Trills. First of all, I'm going to say this. There's a part of me that doesn't want to believe that a man, and I'm going to say it, this handsome, Odell Beckham, has to go through this, okay? But there's also a part of me that we've lived through the Cat Stacks era, and nothing's off the table. Nothing's off the table.
That's true.
And like, I want to believe that Odell Beckham doesn't want this sort of thing to happen, but we're in 2020.
He didn't deny it.
Right. He hasn't denied it. Well,
he didn't deny it.
One more caveat real quick. He did post on Twitter while this is happening. See, Odell Beckham is smart, right? He's tapped in. Like, he doesn't know that this isn't happening to him. He says, can't knock me off of my when I'm focused, no matter what shit you throw at me.
Yeah.
He knows it. He knows exactly what's going on.
Basically confirmed it. Yeah,
nice. He knows exactly what's going on, and he thinks he's slick. Trills, please try to make sense of this. My goodness, man. Like, why is this happening? And 2020 just continues to turn.
I mean, bro, we're just in a super wild time, man. I don't think it even matters if the content is real and if it can be verified or not. I just think it's just a matter of everyone wanting to run with the more entertaining thing, right? So, look, this could be his kink, right? It could be what he's into. It's not impossible, but
oh, come on, Odell, please, man. Like,
look, people
whatever.
are into
it's not
stuff
impossible.
like that.
Right.
Hey, what I gotta say is,
it
sucks that lady went on and aired him out like that.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Tough.
See, that's my problem, right? Like, say this is his thing, which based on Selena and a couple other people they have already been aired out for lying about things, right? Pregnancies, all kinds of things they've lied about already. So that puts me on the side of not believing it. But let's say this is true. At what point do we draw the line on airing people's personal business out and also shaming them for it?
Right.
That part is what I really hate about this, because we know had it gone the other way and Odell was airing out something that a woman liked, right?
What about you, Grant? What do you think?
Look, I don't know if it's true. I think it's funny that he didn't deny it. Kind of not denying it's like the power move. Like, I don't care.
For sure.
Whatever. But the way I look at it is like, look, I can't even fathom what it's like to be Odell Beckham. Like you said, he's handsome, he's young, he's super rich. I'm sure every time he gets back to his hotel after a game, there's dozens of women that want to come up to his room. And I'm sure it's just old after a while. I mean, you don't have to try. Women throw themselves at you. You might develop some weird kinks. If everything is presented to you and easy and you don't have to work for it, you might start to like things that even those women feel uncomfortable with. I'm just guessing. Right. And I'm not even saying it's true because it might not be. But celebrities are weird. Dude.
No, we are. Grant, we've discussed that same
like
thing about, celebrities. And I'm starting to be in the mind of all celebrities are weird. All of them.
Here's the thing, right, is that we know, right? It's proven that if you watch enough porn and you hit enough categories that at some point you have to get to the weirder ones, right?
True.
But the question is this, Trills. I'm tired of intercourse. How do you get to this point? When do you get to this point?
I don't know. They had jokes about it in what was that Team America movie 15 years ago, the little marionette movie. I mean, that was in that movie.
Yeah.
So it's been around.
Right.
And now Odell Beckham is the face of that kink. So good for you, Odell. Maybe he can get a sponsorship.
No.
By Metamucil.
Oh my God. All right, look, let's move on. Jesus.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
All right. One more thing before we get into the music and everything. Trills, this is going to piss you off because it pissed me off when I saw it, and I know this is going to send you off the wall, right? So apparently TikTok is not done, right? Like, still around, even though we know whatever we know about it. So a young lady, and let me just be frank, a young white lady made a video of a song called
Jewish lady. She had my last name.
You know exactly what I'm about to say, Grant?
Something Cohn, Danielle Cohn. I was like,
really?
no, don't be my cousin.
So,
no. And she redid Ashanti, who,
right.
by the way, was the best thing that came out of Murder ENT.
Murder
Ja Rule had a good song in here, but Ashanti's debut album, the whole freaking thing, you can play start to the end. It's amazing. It's amazing. Anyway, keep going.
No, you're right, Grant. Absolutely. 100%.
Hell of an album.
Agree with you on that. So, yeah, Foolish is the single off of that first album. And
great song.
This TikTok happens, and she's covering the song, but then she tells people, you can get my new song, Foolish, on all your streaming platforms.
Yeah, that's bad.
Trills, go first, but here's the word I'm going to use. Appropriation! Go.
Yeah. The weirdest thing to me is, like, I don't want to sound like the old guy, but this is a serious disconnect, right? Like, Gen Z really thinks that Foolish is just some odd, off-shot song that no one's ever heard before.
That doesn't resonate with us, that doesn't get us singing the words immediately as soon as we hear it.
I love
right.
Yeah.
Like,
I love that
this, like, this isn't the one that you can pull that off with, right? It's like the movie that came out recently where, like, dude, like, just, like, jacks all of the Springsteen songs or some shit. Like this.
She can't call that a cover. That's not a cover. That's a ripoff.
Right.
Foolish
she didn't
is
even
a cover.
call it a cover.
Right.
Foolish is a cover. Foolish was a cover of Mary Jane by Scarface. And it's a better song than Mary Jane by Scarface, which is a great song. Same beat. This is just a ripoff of a wonderful song. Hey, the upshot of it, though, is that everyone is talking about Ashanti again. People haven't been talking about her in like 15 years. Right. And she was wonderful. Hey, unpopular opinion, I'll take her discography over Beyonce's any day.
Okay.
Because Beyonce does way too much when she's
Trills. Let's go, Trills.
Also,
Grant's winning.
She's a great singer.
Let me say something.
Let me finish my point on Beyonce.
Sure.
She's a great singer, but she needs to really prove that in every song. And in terms of the songwriting, the songwriting on Ashanti's first album was heartbreakingly sweet, and you can relate to it as a guy. Anyone who's been young and in love can relate to that. And I feel like it's been extremely hard to relate to Beyonce since she's become a mega millionaire. That's just me, though.
And since she's been starting to recite Hove bars now.
Yeah, it's hard to relate to her.
All right, Trills, Trills, I told you, right? Like, we've talked about it. Give me Solange over Beyonce, right? Like, I've said those things, and your response is always level-headed, is always correct. And you always say, why should we choose? Right? Like, you always make me feel bad about that. But no, this is an unpopular opinion episode.
Well, this is the episode.
Let's run with it. If we're gonna talk about it now, let's talk about it. So my unpopular opinion is give me Solange over Beyonce for similar reasons. Again, Solange's music, I feel that shit here. Like, Cranes in the Sky, I feel that shit when she talks about getting a new job, fixing her hair, drinking more, smoking more to get out of this mood. Anyone can relate to that, right? Yep. But Beyonce is on this plane right now of where people, whenever she puts something out, they're just in awe of it, right? Yes. They don't feel it, they're in awe of it.
Like she's a god. She's a god.
Right,
yes.
right. And I also do not want to miss the point that since Jay-Z has taken over primarily writing all of her verses, because Quavo's written some of them or whatever, she has gained as far as the public appeal goes because they're like, wow, Hove bars. I don't know, what is it? Beyonce raps better than dudes and stuff.
Yeah.
No, Jay-Z still raps better than dudes. That's the
Right.
thing I want you guys to know. So, Trills, you go because I know that you're the you're the Beyonce guy on here too. Not that I'm not, but I agree with what a little bit of what Grant said about a little bit too much right now. The music is overproduced and it's a little too much.
Yeah. One, I agree with you. I am leaning more to Solange, but you know how I do it, right? Like I always measure up how much of the work I can listen to, right?
Yeah.
For me, at this point in Solange's career, she's one album up on Beyonce for me.
There you go.
But again, that is also a very good point. I think Beyonce's work hasn't been as good as it was in her first two albums. And we're talking, that's before 2010. So we have like a decade or more of Beyonce, the star of Beyonce mattering more than the actual content.
Music, yeah. And the thing with Ashanti, she had one album. Like her second album wasn't that great. I'm not comparing her discography. Well, I just love the whole album. And with Beyonce, to me, she's like music for women. And that's not like her, Rihanna. If women like that, like, of course, they're that's up your alley. But I'm just too much of a savage to listen to Beyonce.
No, you know what else?
I just don't have that mood. Like, I got to throw on some single ladies right now.
But you know what Grant said that I think is really important too? You have to remember that version of Ashanti when that first album came out, right? She still wasn't fully embracing what we thought we all saw. Like, we're like, yo, she's beautiful. She needs to let it go. She still was a little tomboyish, right? Working her way through her image,
her voice wasn't that amazing.
Right.
I mean, it was good, but it wasn't like Beyonce's. I mean, it was functional.
Right. Like even the baby video, like the dance moves on there are so simple, you know, like, and again, she fully hadn't really like gotten into her space yet. Like she was still in the beginning of her career, and that's for sure her best album. And Grant's absolutely right. The thing that resonates with all of us when it comes to that is that all of those things are situations. Like for me, the first song that pops up in my head is Movies, right? When she's singing about I want to be a girl in the movie. That song's incredible. That song's incredible. I love that song, dude.
Is that the one with the all the production on that album is great.
No, it is.
It's so good.
You have to remember this is also peak Murder Inc., man. This is Seven.
Yes.
This is Irv. These are all these guys in their bags at this point. Like when Murder Inc. was this is pre 50 Cent, which needs to tell you all you need.
Dude, that's when they ran the game. That's before Jay-Z was the biggest rapper. That's back when Ja Rule was the biggest rapper in the East Coast. That was a time. That existed. He kind of took DMX's spot.
So I think what we have this discussion all the time, right? Like we as kids, right? Because we were kids when the 50 Cent thing happened. We were swayed. We were swayed by the movement, right? Yeah. Like we were just like, oh my God, G-Unit, I need a bulletproof vest, like. Yeah. Now when we get older and we start to think about it, we're like, man, we really let 50 Cent push Ja Rule out of his spot and do the same thing that Ja Rule did. Like
Ja Rule.
Literally, like he literally did the same exact thing. Like he made us believe it was uncool to enjoy Ja Rule or Murder Inc. And then he just did everything that Ja Rule did to be successful. Like it's
true.
Crazy.
It's really true. He eviscerated Ja Rule's entire career. It was you still can't listen to Ja Rule because of 50 Cent.
That's right. That's the thing. It's like even right now, right? We're in 2020. Play a Ja Rule song, and I guarantee you, someone's snickering in the corner about 50
No
Cent.
doubt. No doubt.
Right.
It's true. It's true.
One more thing, and Grant, I don't know. I know you're busy, so I don't know if you and I don't know about you, Trills, but Power's back this week, but
this is a difference in a spinoff of Power.
How is it a spinoff if it's directly right after what just happened? Like Stars, Power, 50 Cent. I need you guys to help me out.
I heard that there was a Power prequel.
No, it's Ghost Book of Ghost. Ghost died. Spoiler alert, guys. You had long enough to watch the shit. Ghost is dead. And now, all of a sudden, I got Method Man being a lawyer on my TV and Mary J. Blige being some sort of drug kingpin. Like, make it make sense. Here's the worst part. It was actually fucking good. That's what makes me more mad. I'm just like, I can't. I watched it to bring it on here and have us make fun of it. When it was over, I was like, oh shit, the next episode Sunday? I can't wait now. Like,
that's so funny, man.
But the show has been so bad lately. So bad. Like last season was so hard to get through. It was horrible. And yet somehow after one episode, like my wife was like, I think I'm back in. I was like, me too. This is some bullshit. Like, I don't know how this happened.
I don't know how they got me.
It's the theme song. It's the theme song. Let the theme song run. And there's only like 3 or 4 shows that you actually let the theme song go. Law and Order, Power, Game of Thrones, right? Or am I missing some other ones? Golden Girls, right?
Golden Girls is a bop. That's a bop.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That shit's a slap. You might let the.
You guys don't know about those slaps.
Oh no, I do. Oh, I do. All right. So yeah, I thought I'd bring that up. I know you guys probably didn't watch it, but I was so surprised. So all right, let's get to the music. Big Sean dropped this week, man, and we've been talking about this for weeks and everything. With the anticipation of saying that we think that this is going to be the album that puts Big Sean back in that conversation with those top tier guys that we believe that he should be in, with J. Cole, with Drake, with Kendrick, with Travis Scott, those sort of guys, that top tier of newer guys, right?
Right.
Trills, did this album do it for you, man? Like, is this the what we thought it was going to be?
This is a really good Big Sean album.
For sure.
I thought it was going to be better.
Yes. All right. Good. Thank you. Whew. All right. So it's not an unpopular opinion either. Right?
It wasn't just you. I was hoping I wasn't the dick that expected too much.
No. Okay. I went into it wanting it to be that though too. That's the other thing. Maybe that's what I did wrong, right? Like I went into it. Like,
come on, bro. We had a single with Nip.
That's true.
We got a single with Nipsey Hussle.
No. Yeah. Still the hardest record in the streets right now. Still
come
the hardest
on, bro. Like, what were we supposed to expect?
Right. Granted,
all right, let me say some. You
didn't get to listen.
Unpopular opinions. Who were the 5 rappers you just named? You named
Drake. Kendrick.
J.
Cole. Travis. And I want Big Sean discussed at least close to that like in that tier with those guys.
I'm not really a fan of any of those 5 rappers.
What?
I'm not. I'm sorry. Okay, look. I'm not saying they're not good, and I'm not passing judgment for anyone who finds enjoyment out of them. It's just personal taste. I tend to gravitate more, and I'm a Bay Area guy, so I tend to gravitate more to people who are distinctly regional, not the top 5 rappers.
Makes sense.
The way those 5 guys kind of work is you could put them on any song, a West Coast song, a Midwest song, an East Coast song, a Southern song, any remix, and they're on it. And it's like, that's not really what I like about rap. But every rapper that I don't like has my rule is every rapper that you don't like still has one good song that you can't.
Everybody does.
Yeah.
Everyone does.
Yeah.
And for Big Sean, that song is Paradise. I love that song.
That's incredible. Yeah, that sounds great.
Great song, great beat from
Mike
the
Will.
drummer dude, Mike Will. So I listened to the lead single from his new album. It sounded a little bit like the Drake song from last year where he sampled Lauryn Hill. It's just not my style. But I'm not trying to knock anyone who likes him.
Right. Did you listen to the album, Grant?
Nah. My thing is I don't listen to albums. I listen to singles. And if I love the single, then I'll check out the album. But I just don't have time, man.
No,
and plus, I'm not really an album guy anyway. I feel like it's a single genre. It's a single genre.
This is what I want to know from Grant.
Sure.
Are you more YG than Kendrick Lamar?
Yes.
I was just about to ask you that. You are. Okay.
Absolutely. Here's my thing with Kendrick Lamar.
Is that just because of YG's like mystique, his aura, like the way? No, okay, just that's the.
It's because he
makes party music.
West Coast.
He makes party music. Kendrick Lamar makes a lot of music where it's like sit down and listen to him.
You have to,
because it's so important, and it's like that's not my thing. But he makes some great singles. I mean, that song "All Right" is a classic.
That's his best song.
It's a great song, and you could definitely party to that. Yeah. My thing is, his voice cracks me up. I don't know if you remember Devin the Dude's, I think it was his second album, To the Extreme. The first song is Zeldar from Beldar. He's a Martian who comes to Earth and discovers weed and goes back and does a show and tell. Yeah. To me, Kendrick Lamar sounds like Zeldar from Beldar.
My girlfriend actually says every single time that she hears Kendrick that he sounds like an alien or like a leprechaun or something like this.
My name is Zeldar from the planet Beldar. And it's like, I don't like that. But he can really, really spit. And he has like 5 or 6 all-time classics. So, I mean, I can't.
Well, for me and Jay, this is almost like a Kendrick stan account.
This is a Kendrick Lamar stan.
Fair enough. Hey, dude, he's got great singles. Great singles.
No, and I agree though. Like again, music is all about moods and everything. Like I said, when I'm feeling like I want to sit there and think, then that's when I go to Kendrick and things like that as well too. So yeah, but he is of the newer guys. He's my favorite. Like
when I sit there and think, I'm trying to pull up like an old New York rapper who's like in his 40s, like AZ. You know, I love AZ. That dude's one of my favorites.
Yo, Trills, you and Grant, man, like you guys are like here,
AZ.
man. Like because on the Nas album, the song that we wanted to celebrate the most was the Ferb song. Yeah. So we were just like it was like right up our alley, like when that came up, and AZ can still rap. And
oh yes, he can. Yes, he can.
Trills knows better than he's the one who put it on to us on the pod. He puts out music at a rate that people still don't understand. Is like he has album after album.
And I eat it up. I always look out for AZ's music, man. He'll put out like 1 or 2 singles a year, and usually they're good.
Yeah. Thank you, man, because I feel alone being the only guy pushing AZ on people all the time.
Especially in the West Coast, people have never even heard of him. And like, who's that? I'm like, oh, have you listened to Illmatic? You know the best verse on Illmatic? That's him.
Whoa. That's an unpopular opinion? Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my God. AZ's verse on Life's a Bitch is so perfect.
I know.
Hey, Nas is great in that album, too, but MC Search wrote the whole thing for him. So that's all I'm saying.
We haven't even got to the unpopular opinions yet, folks.
Oh, sorry.
You're good, Grant. This is exactly what we wanted, right? So that's why, like, we kind of scaled the show back a little bit. Like, we just wanted to get into the discussions more than anything because we have a format that we go by, but maybe that's getting a little stale. Like, maybe we need to try and change it up to things like this because
especially if we have a guest, it's time to just wow out and like mix it up for sure.
For sure. And then the other thing is there's going to be people that agree with you, Grant, especially on our side. Forget the 49ers fans, right? Like I said, you live rent free in a lot of their heads. But I'm talking about like the people who are going to be listening to like our friends from here. Like, like our support primarily for this podcast, I try to use Twitter as my platform, are people that know us. Because we've been friends for so long, they know what we bring to the show. So that's what it is. So
let me throw a curveball in. We've been talking about people we don't like that much or who are overrated. Let's do a little something positive because I'm Mr. Positivity.
You are.
Who is a rapper that you guys really like right now that you feel isn't getting the pub that they deserve?
Trills, you go first.
That I like right now.
Yeah, someone who's making hits in 2020 that should be getting the pub that Travis Scott is getting.
Oh, okay. You know what we're gonna say? Come on.
What?
Well, for me, and the reason that they'll never get the pub that Travis Scott is gonna get is because they don't make that sort of music. But they are completely underrated. You already know if it's not a Kendrick Lamar Stan podcast, our podcast is a Griselda Records podcast, Stan podcast. Grant, you want gangster shit? You want shit that really is not like this Griselda shit sounds like Wu-Tang in 2020.
Yeah.
All right.
And it's not like they're doing old music. Somehow Griselda sounds fresh. I don't need to say anything more because we spent episodes.
Yeah, man.
Every time they drop something, Benny, Conway, West, Boldy, any of those guys.
I really tried my hardest not
to say that.
Gun.
Right. To say Gun, right? Westside Gun has 3 albums this year with another one on the way. All of them shits are fire. Yeah. All of them shits are fire.
So if we want to like be the guys that's not like fucking sweating.
No, here, look.
Griselda
Let me stop you right there, Trills. Let me stop you right there. I got one that it don't have to be Griselda. Okay. Let me get us out of the box. It's Freddie Gibbs.
There we go.
It's Freddie Gibbs. It's Freddie Gibbs. Freddie Gibbs is the perfect balance of character, like the person, right? Because a lot of people fall in love with rappers because of who they are, right?
Sure.
Actually,
the whole thing.
Actually gangster, funny, spits, and makes great music. Between Madlib's, the Madlib second album, between Bandana and Alfredo, you'd be hard-pressed to find guys who have made 2 better albums in this 12-month stretch.
Yeah, man.
And he deserves a lot more.
He is the Midwestern guy that people need to be talking about.
Gary, Indiana, right?
Yup.
Yes, sir. He needs to be talked about. I know we're still like in Chicago, right? But let's go to Gary and give that guy the props he deserves.
For sure.
I'm gonna stay in the Midwest, but I'm gonna go to Detroit. I don't know if you guys know this dude, but Sada Baby makes he's so good. I love that dude. And I feel like hip hop heads know him, but he's never on the radio.
Right.
I mean, you never see him on TV. That guy has so much personality. And I feel like he's on like a Lil Wayne and 07 run, like putting out so much stuff. That's a guy that more people should know about.
Yeah.
Trills? I hope I didn't take both of yours.
I mean, yeah, man. I mean, for me, it was easily Freddie Gibbs.
I think it's Gibbs, yeah.
But we could say Boldy. You know where I stand.
Boldy for sure.
Okay, I got another question.
Speaking of Detroit.
Better. Oh, Boldy James.
Yeah, speaking of Detroit, Boldy. Yeah, and Boldy, and the thing is too is you can use any other one of those Griselda guys, any of them. Like I said, Wes has put out projects. Benny's about to drop a project with Hit Boy. Like they're all coming again, you know. And then the Conway truck. But go ahead, Grant. What were you gonna ask?
I got another topic for you guys. Better decade for rap, 90s or the 2000s?
90s. I can't.
I can't stray from.
In good conscience,
I'm gonna say the 2000s. I'm gonna make an argument for it.
Go for it.
Okay. 2000s had the Neptunes. The 2000s, 90s were great, but the 90s were a sausage fest. The 90s were mid-tempo raps that were hard to dance to. I mean, Dr. Dre really, that was his thing.
Right.
They were like parties for dudes. And one of the great things about Bad Boy is they were one of the few record labels that was making dance party music in the 90s, up-tempo stuff. Yep. In the 2000s, there were a lot of up-tempo dance stuff. I mean, the whole Fizz movement in the Bay, all of the Neptune stuff. It was just more up my alley, just more party music. I loved the 2000 rap, and I feel like it doesn't get the credit it deserves because people still fetishize the 90s, which was great, but the 2000s were great too, man.
So as you go.
Those are the two best decades for rap, period. For me, we did get more for the club in the 2000s. I mean, even G-Unit brought it. I mean, you got Thiz, you got Crunk, you got all of that.
All the South stuff.
But 90s, man, is just different, man. We got jazz infused. We got
all the gangster rap.
Oh
right,
my God.
And that's the other thing too. Like you don't know Trills, but Trills does nothing more than to listen to some gangster shit. Like and again, the other thing is too, Grant, like again, what I was talking about as far as location wise, right? You have to remember, you know, we're from here, right? And Nas is moving, Wu-Tang's moving, Biggie, Mobb Deep, Capone and Noriega. All of these things are what
Omega.
Right, exactly. Yeah. All of these things are what brought me into my love of hip hop. Like it literally shifted. My world shifted from just strictly sport to hip hop.
But like we can't understate Zulu Nation, and we can't understate Tribe Called Quest.
There's so much.
It was just so many flavors, bro. I mean, we can't forget what Souls of Mischief did. The Far Side.
Right, there's a lot.
The best female rappers are from that decade.
For sure.
I mean, the Bratz album is fucking incredible. I don't want to say Lil' Kim, Foxy Brown,
Trina. I love Foxy Brown.
I mean,
look at y'all. Y'all are becoming best friends in one pot.
Yeah. I just feel like the 2000s doesn't get its due because it's a little fresher in our minds. But, I mean, some of the albums that came out in the 2000s, Diplomatic Immunity with Cameron, the Dipsets, I mean, all of the Mac Dre stuff, all of the Jacka's stuff. I mean, I don't know if people listen to the Jack on the East Coast, but he's a freaking god on the West Coast. He got killed a few years ago. I mean, all of the South stuff. I mean, Houston, Atlanta, T.I., Whole Wall. There's so much good stuff that came out. And let's be clear, the Neptunes created the sound for that entire decade, and it was amazing.
So that's the double side of it, right? So in the 2000s, we saw more regions explode.
Yeah.
So that is
Baton Rouge, all kind of stuff. Yeah.
So that's something that we could say, you know, was
I like that.
Was great, right? Because
Trillion T with Boosie and Webby.
That's what I'm saying.
Good.
Grant jumped on here acting like he didn't know whatever. Hold up. Wait.
You forgot Boosie?
Well, when you said I had to listen to the entire Big Sean album, like, oh man, I'm screwed right off the bat. I can't make it through one Big Sean single, but all right.
I'm sorry that I forgot this, guys. I'm so sorry that I forgot this, and we're gonna double back to this. So when I do my topics in the beginning, Boosie usually becomes one of our topics because he's so. Do you know what's going on with Boosie right now, Grant?
No, but he always says some really, really insensitive stuff on you. It's like, dude, stop. I understand you just got out of prison, but stop.
He's in the midst of trying to get his Instagram back.
Oh, what'd he do?
So he doesn't know. That's it. He doesn't know. He's been.
That's no idea.
So here's the best part, Grant. He's yelling into his phone Mark Zuckerberg, I need my Instagram back. That's not his name, Boozy.
He doesn't own Instagram.
Yes. So look, I forgot to bring this up, guys. So Boozy stopped. We've been covering this since it happened. Boozy hasn't stopped trying to get his Instagram back, right? He tweets the name at Zuck. Is that his Twitter name? Trills?
There's no way. That's
because
funny.
When I saw the tweet, that shit wasn't linked to nothing. Like, you know, that shit was linked to nothing. Lil Boozy doesn't know how to use Twitter, Instagram, or anything at this point.
He was locked up for like 6 years, man. Give him a break. He missed the entire smartphone era. When he went to jail, people were still using sidekicks.
With ringtones, downloading ringtones.
I would give him a break if he didn't stop using his phone and yelling into his phone. Like, you know how to use your phone to do stuff, you know? But I thought that shit was so funny, Trills, that he actually put up that tweet and it's not to the person that he wanted to. And he still hasn't gotten his Instagram back and he still doesn't know why.
And he's trying to pay how much for it?
Yeah, what did he say, 100 bands? 100
bands.
Okay, I got another question for you guys. Yep. Which state in the South makes the best rap music historically?
For me, you can tell by, I mean, there are many ways you can tell, but for me, it's Texas.
Okay.
Oh,
good. That's not what I would have said.
What do you like about Texas? I love Texas rap. What do you like about it?
Well, I mean, initially, I fell in love with the darkness of Texas. Ghetto Boys and Scarface.
Mm-hmm.
I just, like, completely fell in love with that.
Yep.
From there, once I discovered UGK and a more laid back feel, and I mean, unfortunately, you know, a little something in a styrofoam cup, it all kind of made sense. I mean, what DJ Screw did is incredible. Like, one of my favorite things to do is to get like a old Marvin Gaye song that somebody chopped and screwed. It's the waviest shit on the planet.
You should go listen to that Mace's album, Chopped and Screwed. One of the songs, which one was? I think it was The Player Way, the one with that Chopped and Screwed.
I already know
really
how that
works. It really works, Chopped and Screwed. Anyway.
Yeah, man. I mean.
But all right, but look, Texas,
really special state.
Okay, what I like about Texas is that it's you can almost hear a little bit of like Southern California in it. It's a little bit slower. It's not like Louisiana, which is super fast. It's a little bit slower. It's almost for your car. Mm-hmm. And the production from Mike Dean with the Ghetto Boys to Pimp C with the UGK was just so good. The live instruments, that twangy guitar, I love that. Yeah. Love it.
Good, Grant. You're amongst friends, Grant. You're good.
I fucking love that shit.
25 Lighters could easily be a California song. Like,
it is. Lil Key, that's an up tempo. I like that one. That's when they got to slow down. They got to chop and screw that one.
Grant knows his shit, man. Like, honestly, like, but it's true though. Like from Texas, you know, like, look, now we've got Travis Scott. Remember, you know, like DJ Premier family. You know, so that sort of stuff is in his music.
See, my problem with Travis Scott is if you didn't know he was from Texas,
you would think he's from Atlanta. You would think
anywhere. Right. He's just so. Anyway, my favorite. Well, what's your favorite from the South, though, Jason?
Mine?
Yeah, Georgia. What's your favorite?
Georgia.
Fair enough.
Just because, you know, Ludacris is one of my favorite rappers. Jeezy is for sure one of my favorite rappers.
Me too.
You know, I love T.I.'s music. Andre 3000. There's just too much from Georgia, from Atlanta, for me to ignore because that's the first one that pops into my head. I'll tell you the second state that I was thinking about was Louisiana, actually.
That's my favorite.
Okay, go for it then.
Look, I love Georgia, and they have the longest track. Well, Houston has the longest track record, but the last 15 years has been all Georgia. My problem is that trap music bores the shit out of me now. I'm sorry.
Wow.
But I've been listening for 15 years about people rapping about their wrists and their pots and their forks and their kitchens. Like, I don't want to hear about your kitchen anymore. And on top of that, I feel like the trap beats have become real quiet. Like, they do not slap. And I like beats that slap. Mm-hmm. Like, they're like, put you to sleep. Anyway, it's almost like music for people on codeine. It's like, let's help you go to bed. But I mean, I'm just tired of Migos. I can't take them anymore. But there still is good music that comes out of Georgia. And I love the stupid Fruity Swag stuff that came out 10 years ago, like OJ the Juice Man and that kind of stuff. But for me, I love Louisiana rap because it's up-tempo party twerk dance rap. I mean, and on top of the great producers, Manny Fresh, Mouse on the track, and of course, Beats by the Pound, you have great rappers too. I mean, I think Juvenile, you can put him up against anyone. And it's not just 400 Degrees. The one before that, Soldier Rags.
Soldier Rags, yeah.
Lil Wayne has a great discography. I mean, all the stuff from Baton Rouge, the Trillion T stuff. Louisiana is my favorite.
Wow. Yo, and I don't know what I expected, right, by having Grant on, but Jesus, I'm like getting blown away, man. Like at this point, what what doesn't he know at this point, right?
I gotta say, I was into rap way before I was into football, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So I guess the Big Sean album, guys, I like it. It's one of the better Big Sean albums, but it's not what we thought. All props to Hit Boy though. Again,
yes.
Hit Boy is just like continuing to give quality production. There's just what I think this album suffers from is too many songs.
Yes,
that's a good point. I can't take out. Look, I think an album should never be 20 songs.
23.
Really, it should probably be. One of the things that's best about Illmatic is it's 10 songs, and they're all good. Same thing with Thriller.
That's the sweet spot, right?
Yep.
10.
Yep.
No interludes.
We're capping out at 14,
right.
Yeah. Yep.
And then the question that I have for you, Trills, is that Detroit Cypher song is too long, bro. Like I listened to it today finally. Like I was like, okay, I'm gonna give this whole 10-minute song a listen.
Look, man, if your song is going to be this long, and I don't want to offend any artist, if your song is going to be this long, everybody better be fucking great.
Yep.
So we talking Triumph, great. We're talking even Lupe Fiasco's Chopper is like
that's a 7-minute song. Trader Truth's on that. There's a whole bunch of people on that.
A whole bunch of people bodying it, right? Yeah. Here I hate to say it, but we have people that just did not step up to the plate, and
I walked away impressed by Cash Doll.
Yes, Cash Doll.
How often do songs like that work out?
Royce the 5'9".
Yeah, well, Royce the 5'9" is one of the best rappers in the world.
Yeah.
I love Royce. But how often do those like collaboration songs where there's like 4 different rappers who each have their own verse and they're all from different parts of the country or whatever? How often does that work? I mean, the last song I can think of is
Welcome to Atlanta.
World War III.
World War III by Rough Riders? Whoa, my goodness.
Snoop. It has Snoop on it. Who else was on it?
Jadakiss.
It had Jadakiss on it.
Yeah. Scarface.
That song actually is good. And I forget who the dude is from Atlanta. That's a great song. But otherwise, those songs don't work.
No. It's a 10-minute song. Like honestly, it starts with T Grizzly.
10 minutes?
Yeah, and then I'm good. Yeah. And then like some of the guys' flows are offbeat and put me to sleep a little bit. You know, by the time you get to the guys with the bars, you're already kind of just like, you know, and that's not, you know, and Sean's like, oh, I didn't get everybody else that I wanted on here.
Oh, Too Short could make a 10-minute song back in 1985. The only dude that could pull off a 10-minute song in 2020 would be DJ Quick. And it would not be 10 minutes of rapping. It would be like 3 minutes of rapping with a whole 7-minute interlude instrumental breakdown that you'd be like, all right, that's dope as hell, DJ Quick. Only you could pull that off. But only him, because he's doing it himself.
Right.
Yeah. By the way, DJ Quick is one of the greatest rappers of all time.
Quick as it
also
goes.
never fell out.
And that's an opinion that Trills has had on here. I've heard him say that as well too. Again, Grant, 2 guys from Jersey, we try to, you know, spread ourselves out. Like, you know, we care about this shit though. That's the difference, Grant. Like, like the way that I care about the way that I talk about football and the 49ers, that's the way I care. But it's not because I'm trying to put on the front. This is a part of my life. This is
definitely.
This is what is like when people get to know me, they understand that hip hop is a huge part of my life. Like,
absolutely. Like when I think of DJ Quick, like his music sounds like Compton. It sounds like Compton to me. Dr. Dre's music doesn't necessarily sound like
No, it don't.
He kind of transcended LA. DJ Quick didn't want to. DJ Quick embraced the regionality of his music, and I love that about it. That's why he's one of my favorites of all time.
Yeah.
Yo, this has been great. Now we're really gonna get to the shits now. So let's get to our real unpopular opinions. Grant's fired off 4, but I'm gonna let you start, Trills. I'm gonna let you go, Trills, because I know that you were kind of happy that we pushed it back, because it's like I don't want to take one of these softball unpopular opinions that you could say, you know what, that's not really a hot take. That's actually kind of true, you know. So I want to see what you came up with, because you're so level-headed. You and I are yin and yang. I'm always gonna be the extra one saying things that are a little bit crazy. You're the one that always pulls me back in, and it's just like level-headed. Okay? So I'm interested to see what you're gonna bring to the table here.
All right, so I mean, I think since we went already kind of to your favorite state in the South, right? I'd like to say, and I don't know if this is unpopular, maybe for a certain demo it is, but The Way You Move by Big Boy is a shitload better than Hey Y'all by
Oh, you're so right. Hey, not just that. The speaker box is a shitload better than The Love Below, because The Love Below, and you can keep going, but The Love Below was Andre 3000 trying to do Prince.
It is.
It's like Prince did Prince better than you did
Prince,
dude. And the speaker box is just a great album. It's a great rap album.
Yes.
It's just a great rap.
Yes.
Yeah. So
that's your unpopular opinion? Is that the way?
Yeah. Yes. Big Boy needs to get some of the love that he.
I can one up you on that.
Because
Big Boy was the better half of Outkast. That's one. And I'm going to say, not because he was a better rapper than Andre 3000, because they're both great and they complemented each other. But Big Boy was way less pretentious than Andre. I mean, Andre would be the one rapping about, hey, don't buy Nikes because they're made in sweatshops. It's like, dude, shut up. I don't need you to moralize in my rap song right now. Right. And Big Boy's the kind of dude who would make songs with Slick Rick. Right. I mean, he would have songs with Mystical. I mean, really interesting collabs. I always seemed like Big Boy would be a really cool dude to hang out with.
Yeah.
And I think Andre would too, but Andre's the kind of guy who's like reading a book, wearing sweatpants, thinking about the climate. It's like, I don't know, he's like in the clouds somewhere.
He's actually walking around all of the planet playing his flute now.
Yep.
Exactly.
I saw a video of that. Of somebody running down to him and they were like, what's up? And he's walking and he hasn't shaved, nothing.
I saw that.
People who don't know what he looks like will walk right past him.
Yeah.
What I'll agree with Grant is that right now, what Big Boy has done post Outkast has furthered his career further, obviously clearly, than Andre 3000.
Yep.
And that's because he's continued to get better and evolve as an MC. At the same time, I think that what you're talking about when you say pretentious when it comes to Andre 3000, I kind of take as mystique, aura.
Yeah, that's true. Pretentious is too strong.
Right. So like,
Andre 3000.
It's like if you get an Andre 3000 verse, the world's gonna stop to listen.
No doubt.
Right?
No doubt. Yep.
And I kind of like that about him, where it's like I'm gonna be here when I feel like being here, and you're gonna wait, and you'll like it no matter what. Like
he's kind of got that Dave Chappelle mystique.
For sure, exactly, and that's exactly what I was gonna go to. Also, to kick off of that too as well, on the Big Sean album, that Chappelle story that he told on there, that was fucking incredible.
There's a Chappelle story on it.
Yeah, there's a Chappelle story, an Erykah Badu story, and there's another one. Who's the third one? Huh?
Stevie Wonder.
Stevie Wonder's the third one.
Okay.
But the Chappelle story he tells about the first time that he went to Detroit and he was backstage and he didn't know who Danny Brown was. And Danny Brown was like, oh, you want to go smoke? And Chappelle's like, I smoked 1,000,000 times. I'm fine or whatever. He said right after he smoked, he walked right up to his management and was like, I'm going to blow it tonight. He was like, this is And they're like, well, what do you mean? He was like, it's coming. Trust me. He gets on stage and he bombs completely. He bombs. He says it. He said that it was the best performance that he's ever had because of the crowd interaction, though, right? Because he's trying to get through it. But the moral of the story is there was an older man in the beginning of the story that was talking to him while he was in his dressing room in Detroit. And when he came back in after he bombed, the old man came back to him and was trying to give him kind words. That old man was Big Sean's father.
That's amazing. That's a great story.
It was an amazing story. When he locked it all together at the end, I was like, oh my God. I was like, wow, that was awesome. Yeah, that's worth it. But yeah.
Let me tell you my opinion real quick, because I got to pick my wife up at 5 o'clock Pacific.
You're good. Oh, well, all right. So yeah. So you know what then? Go do your run through your unpopular opinion.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is gonna get me kicked off the show. I've been saving this one. I'm sorry.
This is a big one. I know
it's
it's
my personal taste.
No.
I love Biggie.
Okay.
Biggie's better than Tupac, in my opinion.
Whoa! All right, Grant. Let's go, Grant.
That's an unpopular opinion, but I'm gonna hurt you guys' feelings right now. I'm gonna hurt you guys' feelings.
No, for his coast, that's an unpopular opinion. For this, no.
Okay, so this is gonna hurt your feelings, but I feel like, and I feel strongly about this. The entire discography, save for maybe one song, of Jay-Z is unlistenable in 2020.
Wow!
I'm so sorry,
Whoa.
Jay-Z. So let me make my case, because I had to go big. I had to go big.
You did.
I had to go big. Look, Biggie would have been the GOAT in New York. Jay-Z swooped in because Biggie died. Biggie was he was a phenomenon. He made party music. He was a great, great rapper. Jay-Z has a lot of great songs, but even his good songs, I can't listen to anymore. And I don't know what it is about his persona the last 20 years. I think it was when he made an entire album with Linkin Park. That was the beginning.
Mhm.
That move right there was unacceptable. And a lot of rappers should have called him on that. Like, if Tupac was still alive, imagine what Tupac would have said to Jay-Z after he made a full album with Linkin Park. I mean, that's not gangster. To me, Jay-Z is the least gangster rapper there's ever been. Jay-Z is a corporate capitalist rapper. And what he raps about is making money. And while he raps about making money, he makes it sound like the most boring thing in the world. He makes wealth sound like, And I like rappers who make $10,000 sound like $1 million. To me, that's where I can relate. I can't relate to Mr. $8 billion who lives like a god and tries to make himself seem so interesting. So look, Big Pimpin' was a great song. Can't listen to it. The only Jay-Z song I can listen to and actually enjoy is the one off the Bad Boys 2 album, La La La, or with the
Excuse me,
Neptunes.
Miss Remix. Go ahead.
Miss,
Of all
what's
the
your name?
songs. Great.
That's a great beat by the Neptunes. But other than that, his whole persona to me is so sell out. And if Tupac were alive, he would have had something to say about that a long time ago.
So look, Grant, I don't want to keep you because I know you got to go get your wife and everything. But here, this is what I'll say. I am Jay-Z's my favorite rapper, right? As a kid, I get it, but there was a long period, right before a certain album where I stopped messing with Jay-Z for those exact reasons. I can't relate to Cristal. I can't relate to this. I can't relate to that. It sounded cool when I was a kid. It got a little stale for me. Yep. When Jay-Z drew me back in, when he made himself on my level of a person who goes through the same things I go through. 444. When that album came out and he was talking about things and made himself vulnerable about cheating, about feeling bad about cheating, about all those things. Those are all things that we have been through, all of us.
Yeah. And he only released that on Tidal though, right? I've never heard that.
It's out. It was out everywhere.
Oh,
It started there first. But it was out of it. But that album is the most stripped down, minimalist Jay-Z that there is because that's a Sean Carter album.
I feel you. All right. Well, look, I didn't mean to tear down your favorite rapper like that. Right, I was just trying to get to play by the rules.
Grant, I'm gonna chop this. And I'm gonna put it on Twitter. If people come for your head, I don't know, man.
Hey, I can take it. Guys, I gotta go though. This was great. Let's do it again.
Yeah, for sure, man. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, great to meet you, man.
I'll see you Saturday, man.
All right, see you Saturday. Take care.
Later, bro. All right. See, Grant knew his shit, man. I'm telling you, bro.
Man.
He's his time with us is limited because football season, man. He's dealing with what he's dealing with. It is fucking orange right now in California.
That shit is insane, bro.
Yeah, man. All right. I might as well tell my unpopular opinion, right? You didn't get to yours yet, right? Yeah, you did, right?
Yeah.
Okay. See, when I talk through this with myself in the mirror because I wanted to practice it to make sure that I don't sound stupid, even though, it didn't come off mine as hot or as, So I'll just say it. And this is going to piss a lot of people off because they love this man. And he can do no wrong in a lot of people's eyes. Rick Ross's catalog is better than Eminem's. Now let's argue. That's why I said I don't even think it's really that much of a hot take. I really don't. And if it's not a hot take, please call me out on it and I'll make another one. I'll make sure that shit is spicy.
Look, man, the stands won't like that shit. That's for sure.
No, the Eminem fans are going to hate that. And that's why I'm going to put it out there because I see it all the time on Twitter. I see it all the time. Yo, Eminem drop, Eminem drop, I'd be like, y'all hear something? I'll listen to that shit in a minute. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not about to go run and get that shit. You know what I mean? And Rick Ross has music that, whatever, let's throw the inauthentic card out there. Throw the CEO thing. That shit is bulletproof. About it. It's bulletproof.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Rick Ross isn't a better rapper than Eminem, but he fucking damn well makes better music than him, and that's not really a discussion that I want to have.
Yeah. I mean, you know how I feel, right? I thought Music to Be Murdered By was like his best work in a long time. Mm-hmm. But for me, I still like Cat and Marshall Mathers LP. So we're talking 2 albums that I really absolutely love top to bottom. Ross has surpassed 2 albums.
For sure.
I agree with you.
And then again, remember you have to remember it's the ascent, like his period,
right?
Ascending with music, right? Eminem didn't ascend. It's like a roller coaster. Like,
Yeah.
he gets back on your side with Bad Meets Evil, goes right back down, comes right back up, goes right back down, comes right back up. Like, it's Rick Ross has been this, and now he's this now. Like, he's just a consistent across the board. He don't make whack albums. He just makes albums that you don't like as much as others.
Right.
Okay. See, I didn't think that was too much of a hot top.
All right, so how about, look, I'll lob another one.
Go.
The second best solo artist, the second best solo rapper ever signed to Bad Boy Records is Sean Poe.
That's hot. That's hot. That's fire. And are you including Dylon in this?
If I include Dylon, that makes Shine the seventh best rapper.
The seventh. Oh my God! All right, so elaborate. Expound on that for me. Just a little bit more.
For me, obviously, Biggie is the first. Period. Best rapper signed to that label. Solo. There is nobody that is a solo act on that label ever that has made 2 albums better than Shine's first 2 releases.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, even if we take the second release off the table, I'm only putting it on the table because it came from Bad Boy Sessions. Def Jam released
Def Jam took it, right.
Right. But even if we take that off, Shine's debut album is better than any other solo rapper signed to that label's albums, period.
Allow me to disagree with you just a little, right? Because you and I are, we never disagree. I have to give that nod to Black Rob. Remember Life Story, that first one. Like, as far as, like, now, if you want to argue that Shine's a better rapper than Black Rob, then that's a whole other discussion, right? Like, I think that's something else that we would have to dig into. But for me, I think it's Life Story, man. Remember, I told you, I don't know if it was last episode or one before, like, I feel like that album will never get the just due that they had.
Phenomenal album.
Right. And then, like, when the source, remember, this is when magazines and reviews mattered because there was integrity behind it, right?
Yeah.
Black Rob got 5 mics in the source when that shit actually really mattered.
Yeah.
And that album still really holds up very fucking well. And remember the mystique and aura around it. The album was leaked. I had that shit months before. They added 1 or 2 songs to the actual release, and I had had the album, So, and then the other thing is he drops Whoa, and the album don't come for a minute.
Yeah.
So, like, the circumstances around the release are a little bit more historical too. Like, that's some stuff that you have to talk about too. Like, what this is all during the time where, the Lox is on Life Story.
Mm-hmm.
The Lox weren't fucking with Bad Boy at that point.
Yep.
They pretty much had to they like what Jada said. Jada said I wasn't fucking with him, but he said, I need this and he said, you know what? Take it, because that was a Lox record.
It was a Lox record.
Right. That sort of thing, kind of. And then, like, to have a guy give us that album, and then I like his second album a lot, actually. But then have him give us that album and then just go away. And then, obviously, we know about the, the legal and stuff like that. I think that's a little bit more like, again, we when we look back on albums, we have to judge them not only on the material, how they hold up, but the feeling of, I guess it's the feeling around them or the way it was created. Right. Right. Like we went on and on about 4, 3, 2, 1 being a song that we're going to discuss until the end of time because of the process that it took. And I think this is one of those albums too, where it's like the process that this album took to be in the mainstream and for all of us to love it. It's a long story. It's a long, long fucking story. But I mean, I just prefer that album over Shine's first album. I have to listen to Shine's first album again. Okay. Like I have to listen to it again. I have to give it that sort of respect. But if I remember off the top of my head, I think that I really like that Black album better than.
I put Black Rob right after that album.
Yeah, it makes sense. It would have to be. It would have to be those two.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know, man. Like that album, bro. Phenomenal rapping that I think he doesn't get the credit for. Really fucking good hooks. some really good Neptunes production. And then, I mean, aside from Bad Boys being the hit that it was, aside from Bonnie and Shine being the hit that it was,
My favorite song is The Commission.
The Commission's fucking incredible.
That's an incredible song.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
But then, like, again, we're talking about the shit that happened around it, right? See, like, I'm right there with you on the Black Rob shit.
But Shine
then
shit.
I'm also there with the Shine shit. Like, I'm watching MTV News. Kurt Loder is talking about Shine shot the club up.
Shot a woman in the face.
I played a goddamn song and I hear money is the root of all evil. Calico Desert Eagles. Bitch, I'm coming to see you. All you niggas gonna die. Like, what? Like,
That's life imitating art right there.
I'm like, who the fuck is this guy,
But
right?
that's a good point too, though, because all that needs to be incorporated when you talk about this album, because there was so much controversy around that album with what happened with the club incident, right? And how Shine was the only one who went to jail, right? And we, the public, right? We got our information differently then. We all just suspected that it was Diddy that did it, and they made Shine take the fall.
Yep. Shine just recently talked about it, streaming from fucking Belize with Fat Joe.
Okay.
Shine says he did what he had to do because the Brooklyn niggas were in there going off on Diddy. Dudes that Shine knew from the hood that he knew would absolutely kill Diddy that night. And he had to do what he had to do to make sure Diddy and J-Lo got out of there alive.
Well, I mean, if that was a price that he was willing to pay, then, bravo.
He's like, look, I took the fall and I didn't say anything, and I just took it because we know, like I know, everybody in that courtroom and everybody involved in the case wouldn't have wanted any more in their life's achievement
Nail Diddy to the wall.
than to get rid of Diddy.
Yep, for sure.
So, I mean...
That's a good argument, though. I like that. That's a good argument. I'm going to go back and I'm going to listen. I'll give it a shot. And I promise you, I'm going to listen to it with ears of trying to figure out if I feel...
Actually, we might have to retro review. What's today?
Today's the 9th.
By the end of this month, that probably turns 20.
Perfect. Not 25. Yo, this was a great show, man. Grant had some fucking fire-ass crazy. And you know what? That's just a glimpse of what it's like to follow Grant. And when it comes to football, man, the 49ers fans, bro, it's you know what it is with him? And this is what I've grown to really respect about Grant now that I've gotten a chance to speak with him. We rubbed elbows and we talk a lot. He leans into that Twitter shit. Like, he leans into it. Like, he's not like, oh, my God, why is everybody coming for me? Like, he knows how to push buttons. And, like, it's like he sets a match off and he just sits there and he watches that shit burn down. Like, and it's crazy. Like, I was telling him before we jumped on. I was like, I'll write a 49ers article. And in the comments, they'll say, this is a great article. It's not that Grant Cohn clickbait bullshit. Like, they'll at him and everything. And I want to answer back like, yo, that's my guy, man. Don't be talking about my guy like that, man. But Grant, I knew that he was going to come with some unpopular opinions. The Kendrick Lamar thing threw me. The Jay-Z thing throws me. If he would have said one wrong word about Griselda, I'd have been like, yo, drop that location. Like, we got to talk. Just come outside. We ain't going to jump you. We just want to talk, Grant. Nah.
Yo, he really came with him, yeah.
No, he did. And I expected that. That was perfect, man. So I think next episode we're gonna get Please on here because he was supposed to jump on this one because I need him to clear up two things for me. I need him to clear up this Nas bullshit on the album, and I need him to clear up this Dipset shit. Like, I'm sick of it, bro. I need to hear this, and I need someone else to hear it so I know that I'm not the one that's going crazy when it comes to this.
I really need to hear him talk about this Nas shit, man.
I asked him again, and he was straight up like, this shit is whack. That's the word he used. It's whack. I was like, whack, please? I was like, trust me. Nobody wants to make jokes about this album being whack more than me to you. I was like, I sent you a text saying I liked it. Anyway, we'll get him on, and we'll talk about it. But, yeah, whack was the word. That was the word.
Crazy.
All right. This was actually a shorter episode, but I like it. I think that we covered a lot of stuff, and I think that we All right. Let's get our 5 picks in before people kill us.
I guess we got to give them that, right?
Like I'm glad that yeah, that one we have to give them, otherwise we're gonna get fucking yelled at or whatever, and I'm good with that. I have 2 records from Detroit on here. I'm gonna say that first.
Okay.
I have 2. But I'll start with mine. So the first record that I've been listening to is and don't laugh. DJ Envy just put out a new record with Fab and A Boogie. Remember Block Party?
Yeah.
Woo, man, it was that Rockefeller time where if you were a DJ, everybody was getting fucking albums at that point.
Hell yeah.
It was like right after Clue went, they were like, all right, Envy's next. But he's got a new record with Fab and A Boogie. It's really simple. There's nothing really to digest here that's anything hard to listen to. You know, Fab's got a really good verse on it as well, too. A Boogie's dope on it. It's a dope record. Dope New York record, you know, to listen to, came out this week. My fucking favorite record right now that's out right now is produced by the Neptunes. We've been talking about the Neptunes all episode, and I kind of wanted to pull it together. I wish Grant would have stayed on.
Yeah.
This SZA and Ty Dolla $ign record is fucking out of here.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Look, I'm biased. Ty Dolla $ign's my fucking guy. But SZA's voice, someone said this on Twitter, and I wish I had your at so I can give you exposure because I believe this 100%. SZA's voice sounds like a neck kiss, if that makes any sense. It feels like a neck kiss. The hook, you know, like it's and the Neptunes reinventing yourself in the 2020s. For me not to know that was you. This isn't a Neptunes record, you know. This isn't like the Beanie Man record with Mario where you can you hear the key, you know, like you can't tell that this is the Neptunes.
Mm-hmm.
That for me makes this song that I already love that much more enjoyable, and it makes me love it that much more because they are still so good at what they do. And to do this sort of record, like. Holy shit, man. Like, you guys still got it, bro. Okay, sticking with the R&B. Bryson Tiller dropped something. I've been waiting, man. This Inhale record sounds a little bit more stripped down, though, right? Like, he's not really on it. It's more about the production, more about the sample. Don't really have an issue with that. Still a fucking dope record, man. Like, Bryson's back, and I'm hoping that this next project he drops is fucking dope because Trap Soul was dope. And I felt like I liked the second one a lot more than other people did because I feel like there's a disconnect with the second album and the first one. Like, Trap Soul is like a certified classic. Yeah. And, you know, people kind of slept on the second one, and I really like the second one, honestly. I found myself being like one of the only ones who actually liked it. So let's keep it going with the R&B. Let's get to one of these Big Sean records. Ty Dolla $ign's on a record too. That body language is hard, man. Like that one. But there's a lot of girl records on here, which is another one of my complaints. You know, but that's Sean though, right? Like we know that. Like Sean's always gonna have songs towards that. So I'm not really like surprised. But that's gonna be it's the length of the album and then it's the amount of girl records. I feel like was a little bit too much. Like if he strips this down, then he has a much better project. I feel like. Right. But yeah, I gotta say that body language is one of my favorite. And then Zen the Fuck Out is hard as hell, man. Holy shit, bro. That shit is hard, man. And it's funny because I see ZTFO and I'm like, the fuck does that stand for? And I was like, it probably means Zen the Fuck Out. And yeah, as crazy as that sounds, and it sounds like you can't make a song out of that, trust me, that song goes fucking hard. So yeah, those are my 5, man.
Okay. So it's so hard trying not to pick the joints that I think we might have similar.
That's what I thought. Like, if you have to hit different on there, then keep it on there, man. Like, it's fine, man.
I know, but you know. So I picked Down Life, man, because I like the beat, man, and I actually like to hear Lil Wayne getting off on it.
Okay, that's a really good point too, because I was gonna say that too. That's one of the better records on this album, and it's at the end. And I think that it was after Big Sean's verse, and then when the beat kind of switches again, I was like, okay, now this shit is hard. Like I was like, okay, this shit's dope, but then when it gets to that part, and then you hear Lil Wayne rapping, I'm like, all right, yeah, this shit is hard now. Yeah. This shit is hard. That's one of the better records for sure.
Now, am I bugging? Because I was going to look in the notes, right? But I was like, I'm going to wait until I get to talk to you and be like, yo, is there a Meek Mill vocal in this shit?
That's what I thought I heard too. Is that the hook?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess what they did was they just cut a vocal, a part of it. Like that's right. I'm like, oh, Meek's on this? I thought this is dude. I went for my run today, and that part came on, and I'm like, oh, Meek's on this? Like that's the same exact thing, yo. Like good. It's not just me. Trust me, I was sober too.
So yeah, man, that's dope. I had to go back because I wanted to put it on my list last time, but I didn't because I didn't want to overload it with his shit and seem like I was standing too crazy. So I'm putting 27 Summers on this time.
Yeah, I wanted to put a Nas song on here too, man. I really did, man, because
I mean, look, it's still going. I haven't stopped playing it yet.
That's what I was saying. When I listened to it again, I'm like, man, I really like this album. I really like it. So yeah, I felt the same way too. I almost did. Instead of doing, I was gonna pick one Sean and one Nas, but I thought that I wanted to. You know, we didn't really get into Detroit too a lot, so I wanted to make sure that at least I talked about 2 records.
Right.
Keep going.
Duckworth and Earth Gang, man, this super
shit. Super bounce. So that's a shit. That album is incredible. That album is fucking incredible, man. That is, I still can't stop listening to that shit. When I get in the car and we're done here and I go to my draft, that's all I'm gonna be listening to on the way there. Like that's it, man. You don't gotta convince me, but yeah, that super bounce shit is.
I mean, the shit's just so swaggy, bro.
That's it, bro. That's it. Keep going.
I'm gonna give The Weeknd and Calvin Harris this one, man. The Over Now joint, fire. Yeah, man. Weeknd is like in like his 80s bag, man, and I don't mind it at all.
Nope. And that would bother me when I feel like people are doing things like on purpose, I guess is the word. Like he's like
sometimes it feels contrived, and it's like, yo, you trying so hard to make this feel like a throwback, but this shit seems like effortless and
fresh somehow.
Right.
It has all those vibes. Like when you hear Blinding Lights, that's the same thing. That like I heard, I'm like, yo, this sounds like it could have been Mike. Yeah. You know what's funny is I didn't gloss over that one. Like I heard it and I was like, yeah, it's cool. You know, it's just that again, I get like when I talk about Calvin Harris and how much I like him, I think I had a little bit of too high of expectations. And it's the same thing with that Ty and Nicki record. Like I just I'm not feeling it, man. Like I don't know, like, you know.
Well, I mean, that happens, man. Like, you know, sometimes the shit gets so high, it gets so good that it's like.
Right, that it's hard to like continuously do it, you know, and you can't expect everybody to make, you know, great songs every time.
Yeah.
Even though Jay-Z has one song that Greg can listen to. Mind
blowing, and it's La 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 at that.
Bro, excuse me, Miss Remix. I can't wait till I jump on the pod with him again this weekend, man. I'm gonna be like, Grant, I have to ask that one.
That's a fire song, but
it is. Damn, but it's so random, bro, so random. But then again, that speaks to the same way that I don't want to say I dismiss Tupac, but I don't feel Tupac in the way that everybody else does, especially somebody from Cali. It might be the same thing with him and Hov, man. Like it really might,
absolutely.
And he's not wrong for that. Again, we don't live over there. He doesn't live over here. He doesn't get it. He's never been to Madison Square Garden and watched Jay-Z perform for 3 hours, you know, and have everybody know every single word. You know, like those sort of moments will change the way you look at artists.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just one summer, right, of you constantly hearing Volume 2 playing from every car changes how you feel about an artist. It's you know, it's just how it is.
Well, I thought it was a good episode for sure. The unpopular opinions, we're going to chop them all up. We're going to put them out. Everybody's going to have to defend their take. So, you know, Eminem fans, bring it on. I'm ready. Bring it on. Again, man, thank you to Grant for cutting out time for us, you know, in his busy time coming on, talking hip-hop with us, man. You know, we'll try to get him back on, but we're going to try to get Please on here next week so he can explain himself and his takes and everything. So, Trills, let us know what you got going on. This is a little bit of a shorter episode, but I feel like we're doing a good job here.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Great episode, man. You guys know where to follow me, Trilly Trills, on everything. And I'm just, you know, doing my same old, getting back to work.
That's it, man. So, yeah, Jason Aponte 2103 on Twitter, guys. You know, 49ers shit. Football is going up. Fantasy football. Follow me there for that. On Instagram, Jay Aponte 2103. And follow the Instagram for the page at The Point Podcast. Isn't it fucking crazy that the discussion that we had about Drea's twerking and about how it distracts people ends up being the by far #1 video clip that we've posted? By far. All you need to do is look, it just proves my point. I'm right. All you got to do is put a fat ass up. It don't even matter what I said afterwards. The video cut everything that I said towards the end too, and it still doesn't matter because you saw the ass in the video and you double-click that shit, and you could give a damn about what I said on there.
Yeah, man. The ass is the ultimate distraction, man. It just constantly proves itself.
That's it, bro. And also, Drea, you know what I mean? We out here doing the Lord's work for you, you know? So, but yeah, great episode. You know, we'll be back with 22 next week sometime. So it'll probably be Wednesday night that we record because tomorrow's the day. Football's back, man. So it's going to get a little bit more hectic out here. But thank you guys for everybody who's liking, subscribing, is sharing with everybody else. Please subscribe to us on YouTube. That's really going to get us a help. And if you can, on whatever platform you use us on, whether that's Spotify, on Apple, on Google, on Stitcher, anything like that, please, please, please leave a review. That's how our podcast will get to the front page of these algorithms and we'll get more exposure. That's how you guys can help us. Everybody's been asking, how can I help? That's how you can help. Just leave a quick review for us. Make sure you make it 5 stars. Make sure you say something that doesn't sound like a bot said it. And that'll help us out a lot, man. And I appreciate everybody who's been watching and has been listening and everything as well, too, man. It's humbling. So, yep, for Jay, for Trills, we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah.